Hey everyone, how y'all doing? My name is Deborah and I am here to give you my first impression of The Rebel Princess, a Chinese drama currently airing. And without further ado, go ahead and grab your tea mugs and come along with me on this journey as we discuss The Rebel Princess, or Ode to Shanyang. Let's go! Okay, so this is a drama that is based on a novel called The Emperor's Conquest, and it is written by Zhou Yiwei. And it's starring, and you're gonna see me keep looking down because I'm looking at my notes so I just don't forget the important points I want to touch in this. If you're new to my reviews, I always do that, okay? But it is starring Zhang Ziyi. Yes, our movie Zhang Ziyi, the movie queen Zhang Ziyi that we're used to. It is starring Zhang Ziyi, her first official coming into the drama world, intro debuts in the drama world and stuff. It's starring Zhang Ziyi and it's also starring Zhou Yiwei. And Zhou Yiwei, I was really excited about Zhou Yiwei being the main lead. He's the main male lead in this drama. I was really excited about that just because we see Zhou Yiwei in dramas, but he's never really like the main lead and stuff. He's always like a side character or cameo or something like that. So this is something that I was really freaking out about, apart from the fact that, oh my goodness, Zhang Ziyi is in a drama, but also Zhou Yiwei was making me freak out. It's also starring Tony Yang and a host of other veteran actors and actresses. But this is a drama that airs Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays and Mondays, and it has 68 episodes. 4 episodes are subbed right now. Vicky's subbing it, but China Zone on YouTube subs faster, so if you want faster subs, go to them and stuff. They sub 1 episode, I believe, every day, and so China Zone is subbing it. They have 4 episodes subbed, but if you're able to watch Chinese dramas without subs, they have like 8 to 10 episodes out now, depending on where you check it out, so you can definitely like watch ahead if you understand without subs. Now, in terms of the summary of this drama, to summarize this drama is about Princess Shanyang, a female lead, Zhang Ziyi. It's basically centered around her. She comes from the Wang family, so in this world that we are in, there's the royal family, and then there are 2 main families, the Ziyi family and the Wang family, who are fighting for power, and the emperor is basically trying to control their power and pitch them against each other so his throne is secure. But the Wang family is special in that the Wang family females always end up becoming empresses. That's how special they are. And so the empress, the current empress, is Princess Shanyang. That's a female lead, Zhang Ziyi's aunt, and then the emperor's sister is her mother. So her family is really interconnected with like the royal family, and you can say our female lead is basically the apple of the royal family's eye. They love her. The emperor absolutely adores her. He treats her like his own daughter and stuff. And it's funny, there's this really symbolic scene in the beginning where her grandmother and stuff is basically like teaching her about like history, and she stands on this map, on this spot in the map which represents like their country, and the grandmom asks her, where are you standing on, or where are you right now? And she says, under my feet is XYZ, which is like the name of the country. And that's really symbolic because basically that is the situation and stuff. And I just felt like that was really cool, random. I just had to throw that out there. But basically she grew up really sheltered and loved, so she really is not aware of the intricacies of the palace and how people can be evil and stuff, because she grew up really sheltered and loved by everyone. So she grows up and she reaches the age where she becomes a woman, and they're presenting her to the world and stuff as a matured woman, and a woman that's now ripe for marriage and kids and things like that. And so when she's presented, we find out that they're trying to hook her up with the crown prince. When I say they, I mean the court and the empress, her aunt, are trying to hook her up with the crown prince, who's also in love with her, because like I stated, the Wang family females always end up becoming empresses. So they're trying to hook her up with the crown prince, but girlfriend is not in love with the crown prince. She's in love with the third prince, who's also in love with her, but the third prince is not the crown prince. And if they marry, that feel like the third prince is going to end up becoming emperor one day, right? Or he's trying to steal the crown prince position from the crown prince and stuff. So that's a whole mess on its own. So when she's being presented, they try to hook her up with the crown prince, but her dad ends up intervening and stopping it when she tries to tell the emperor that, hey, I don't want to marry the crown prince, I want to marry the third prince. And that's the first sign we get that her dad might not want her to actually marry the third prince, even though she's in love with the third prince and stuff. And so basically that's her story, where they're fighting to get her to marry the crown prince just as a power grab and stuff, and she's in love with the third prince, while the second prince is shown as this dude who apparently is wayward. Now whether that's true or not, I'll go into it later on, but that's what the second prince is shown as. Now let's come into our main lead, Zhao Ziyi. Zhao Ziyi is this guy who comes from humble beginnings. He commands 200,000 Ningxiu army. He commands the 200,000 Ningxiu army, and basically there was this agreement that was made between the royal family and the Ningxiu army that if they ever end up killing the king of their enemy country and stuff, that whoever ends up doing that will be made a lord. And note, the Zhao Ziyi's family, Zhao Ziyi comes from humble backgrounds. He's poor, so he's not nobility and stuff. So when he goes to war, he ends up succeeding in killing this enemy king, takes his head, and the nobility in town where he comes from are basically against him being made a lord, because if he's made a lord, he's going to be like higher than them and stuff, which they can't basically swallow because he comes from humble background. So they're trying to go against him becoming a lord, but the emperor wants to basically fulfill the promise that was made to the Ningxiu army. And so our female lead goes into the emperor to ask him for a favor, and the favor is basically that she wants to be able to decide who she wants to marry, and that he shouldn't basically grant her or gift her a marriage. So they make a deal that they're gonna play a game of chess, and whoever wins that game of chess will basically get whatever they want. And so while they're playing the game of chess, the king basically tells her about his worries in terms of Zhao Ziyi, and she basically encourages him to not listen to the nobilities and stick by his promise and make Zhao Ziyi a lord, because he has done great service to the country and stuff. So he agrees to do that. And then while they're playing the chess game, king basically loses the chess game. She wins the chess game, and so she gets the right to choose who she wants to marry. But unbeknownst to her, while all that is going on, her dad is busy scheming a different plan, because he's like, no, the king is too smart. Like, the king, who's one of the best chess players, lost to my daughter. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's something else involved here. So her father is basically scheming behind her back and trying to get her to marry Zhao Ziyi and stuff. Meanwhile, she ends up getting married to Zhao Ziyi. I won't spoil how that came to be, but she ends up getting married to Zhao Ziyi. When she ends up getting married to Zhao Ziyi, she gets kidnapped. When she gets kidnapped by the enemy. And when she gets kidnapped, Zhao Ziyi basically saves her. And when Zhao Ziyi saves her, that's how they kind of become closer and stuff. And then they really do fall in love, and she forgets the third prince. Like, there's a whole bunch that happens with the third prince, which I'm not going to spoil. But some stuff happened, and so she and the third prince break up, which is beginning to sound like Scarlet Heart. But anyways, they do break up, and then she marries Zhao Ziyi. She falls in love with Zhao Ziyi, and they basically try to restore peace to the kingdom in the midst of so much scheming and tribulations and trials and wars and stuff. So that's what the drama is, a little bit of a summary of what the drama is about up to like episode 8. Okay, so here are my thoughts on this drama so far. So let's go into what I think in terms of the acting. I really like the cast in this drama. I love that everyone in this drama can act. And they all look their age, well, except Zhang Ziyi. We'll go into that in a little bit. But I like that everyone in this drama can act, and I think that's the best part of this drama, that they are not idols, they are actually veterans and stuff who know how to act, so they make it so believable. A great example is Zhou Yiwei as the general. Like, even in the beginning when they introduced us to him, it was like 17 minutes or 10 minutes into the drama. Literally, it was like 12 midnight when I started watching this drama. I was jumping on my bed and screaming because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the epic content I signed up for and stuff. But I absolutely love how good the acting is. So if you're looking for a drama with people who look their age and stuff, this is definitely the drama for you. But there's a but in there, in that Zhang Ziyi plays a younger character in the drama. Someone who, like I told you, basically just became a woman, like let's say 18-year-old. But Zhang Ziyi ain't anywhere near 18. I know there's been a whole bunch of like talks about how she's too old to act in this drama, like she looks too old, etc and etc. For me, I don't have that issue because her acting makes up for it. You know how you're setting dramas and stuff where you watch setting, I'm not gonna throw out any names, but you know who I'm talking about. You're setting people who try to act like a teenage girl, but it is just not realistic in the tone and the way they act, and you're just looking at this face and you're going, what are you trying to do? Like I am not deceived. But Zhang Ziyi's voice, especially her voice and the way she acts, is so good that even though like you're setting moments and setting scenes where you see the face and you're like, nah, this girl is definitely not 18, the tone of voice, like her vocals and the way she acts, makes up for it, that you almost like you find yourself believing she is 18, even though facial wise she might not look 18. Does that make sense? And stuff. So for me, I know some people are like, nah bruh, even though she's a good actress, it doesn't make up for the age thing for them. But for me, I really do not have a problem with the age and stuff. I know she's older, I know she might look older, but her acting and her voice, especially the voice for me, is just making up for it and stuff. So it's making it more believable for me that yes, Zhang Ziyi can play an 18-year-old. That is not to say I wouldn't have preferred it if they had given a different character to act her younger age. I'm not saying that. It would have actually been better if they had done that. But since they didn't do that, what I'm trying to say is I don't really have a problem like other people do with the age issue. So that's where I'm at. But this is a decision you have to make for yourself. But just so you know, like I stated, Zhang Ziyi is definitely older than 18. I mean, I'm just saying. But for me, it works. For you, it might not work. This is a drama you need to watch and make that decision for yourself, is what I'm saying. But I do like that. I really like the acting. I love the pacing of this drama in that it's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's just right. Kind of like Joy of Life, how it wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, it was just right in terms of pacing. That's the vibe I'm getting with this drama. Not dragging things so far, things are just moving as you'd expect it to move. Now that is not to say it may not drag later, and that's one of my fears with this drama because it's a 68 episode drama and stuff, and so far no dragging has happened, so I'm just kind of worried about it dragging later on. Hopefully that doesn't occur. But so far, 4/8 episodes that I've watched in, it's not dragging. So if that's something you consider while choosing dramas, just so you know, this is not a drama that so far has dragged. Something else I really like about this drama is the cinematography, that it feels like a movie, like I'm watching a movie, which makes sense because Zhang Ziyi is the producer and she came from the movie world, so it does make sense that it feels like you're watching a movie and stuff. So I really do like that about this drama. I also like the palace that they used in this particular drama and stuff. It's definitely fitting for what they're trying to, like, what's the word, showcase to us. So I really like that about this drama. Something else I really like about this drama is how we are not fully sure about who's the good character and who's the bad. Now, don't get me wrong. That is not to say we don't know that certain characters are bad for sure, and certain characters are good for sure. We do know. But what I'm trying to say is there's certain characters that right now, even though they're showing themselves as good, you can see potential for how they turned bad, e.g. the third prince and stuff. Or you can see certain characters who are pretending to be good and you're like, nah bruh, you're suspicious. I feel like you're actually the mastermind behind everything that has been going wrong all along, and I'll go into that suspicion later on when I talk about my suspicions in regards to this drama. But I really like how there's certain characters here you're not really sure about, in terms of the king especially and her father. Like, where are you really? Like, are you bad? Are you good? They're right now, the king and her dad are great characters, and that's something I really appreciate about this drama. So that's something, if you're interested in, that's something to look forward to in this drama. Now let's go into Zhou Ziyi himself, our male lead, and then we'll go into our female lead and her family and my thoughts about them. Zhou Ziyi is a character that right now doesn't get enough scenes so far. I feel like because it's focused on the female lead, we see things more of like from the female lead's perspective, and then the people who impact her life come in gradually. And so once he really goes in as an important person to her, that's when he'll take center stage in the drama, which I have no problem with, and I like how they're doing that. But so far, the little we've seen of him, I really like him. I love his charisma. I love how he carries himself. Something else I absolutely love is how, you know, how in Wuxia and like Zanxia dramas and historical dramas and stuff, how the generals are always like the generals that are our leads and the drama is about are always loyal to the king, and the king can do no wrong and things like that, and you're always like what's it called, at the end of the day let down and basically killed by the king and things like that. I like how he is smart in that he doesn't consider his army the army of the king. He's not all that loyal. That's what I'm trying to say. He's loyal to himself, and I have no problem with that. Case in point, there's this scene where his army is basically invited to the capital, or they're meant to go to the capital to see the king after they killed the enemy king and stuff. And his army, he tells his army to prepare 50,000 soldiers to go with him. And one of his guys and stuff, his assistants, tell him, dude, we're not supposed to do that without the king giving us an order. And he goes, who do you answer to? Do you answer to the king or do you answer to me? And that was just like, oh wow, because it was so different. You don't see that in the drama. They always go trying to stop like appearances of treason and stuff, but this is one where it's just blatant, where the dude is like, this is my army, it is not the king's army. Yeah, we might work for the king, but you all work for me and you all answer to me. So I really like that so far about him and stuff. And then there's this other scene where basically one of the maids comes to talk to him about something, and it's a palace maid, and once the maid kind of tells him like, you need to move from here to the palace and blah blah blah, he kind of looks at the maid and he goes, are you giving me an order? And the maid goes, no, I'm not. And he just tells the dude, okay, then get out of my face. And I'm like, oh whoa. Like I love how he is fearless, is basically what I'm trying to say. And he understands the intricacies of the palace, and so dude literally does not care for like all this power, wealth and things like that. He just wants his dues, what he basically deserves. He wants peace, and he doesn't want like all this mess that you're trying to do. But that doesn't mean if he needs to get his hand into the trouble, he won't get his hand into the trouble and stuff to save himself and save his army. So I really appreciate that about our male lead's character. Something else I love is the Emperor's love for our female lead. Like, I really adore their relationship and stuff. So that's something I really like. In this drama. Something else that I love talking about our female lead's family is how much her family sincerely loves her. I really love the family dynamics, especially her brother. I love the difference in her brother, in that her brother is an artist who loves art. He's not interested in politics, he's not interested in war and all that. He just basically loves drawing his pictures. He's just so simple, and he's the sweetest human being ever and stuff. So I really love her brother, and I love that they didn't make him, you know, mainly in dramas like this, when you see someone that's basically the child of someone so important because her dad is the prime minister, when you see someone like that whose son is basically someone who's involved in the arts, they always show him as someone being wayward. I like how her brother is not shown as someone that's wayward or anything like that. He respects himself, he respects others, he's basically humble. He just wants to be allowed to draw. Just let my boy draw, just let my boo draw. So he's a character that I actually absolutely adore. I do want to see him fall in love. I'm interested in seeing who he will fall in love with for real, because he's married to someone who he doesn't love. So I would like to see him actually really fall in love and see how that plays out. So him and his dynamics with his father and stuff, how you can see that while his father is not happy with the choice he has made in life, and he makes that really clear, like, I wish Shanyang, my daughter, was you, a guy, and you were Shanyang, because she acts more like a guy than you and stuff. Even though the dad says all that and it's hurtful, we do not doubt for a second that the dad loves his kids and will like go the extra mile for his kids. And that's something I really appreciate in terms of like historical dramas and all, where they don't hide the love and it's very open, like, yo, I will die for my kids, these are my people and stuff. So I really appreciate that about this drama. Her mom is a character that so far has just been like one-dimensional, but now that she's faced with a choice between, is she her husband's wife or is she the sister to the king, like, where does her loyalty lie? I feel her mom's gonna become a very interesting character, so I'm really looking forward to them really meeting out the mother's character in more episodes as we go on and stuff. So that's something else that I'm interested in. I absolutely love her father's brain, the prime minister. Like I said, he's a great character right now where you're not really sure of what he's plotting. You know this dude is plotting, but you're not really sure 100% of what he's plotting, and it's the best thing ever, where it feels like him and the king are playing a cat and mouse game, and then there's someone in secret that's playing all of them. So I really like those dynamics in this drama. What I love about our female lead is the fact that she is extremely naive, but she isn't dumb. She's actually smart but naive. And I think one thing, like, there's certain scenes where you see her make certain decisions where you go, oh my goodness, girlfriend, why are you not suspicious? Like, how could you just fall into this trap that you're trying to set for you? But then when you think about it in terms of, this is a girl that has always been loved and stuff, and the people who are trying to set her up are people who have shown her nothing but love, it makes sense that she doesn't suspect them as trying to ruin her or trying to basically put her into a trap, and hence why it makes sense why she goes along and falls into their trap. So it's realistic in that aspect. So I like that. Yeah, our girl is naive, but she ain't dumb. She's not stupid. That's something I really appreciate about her. And I also like how she's not like on that type of moral ground where she looks down on people and stuff. So I really like that about our female lead and stuff, and I can't wait to see how she grows into a stronger female lead who's no longer naive. She sees everyone's faces and she basically helps her husband in protecting the country. Like, I am so excited for their marriage life. You have no idea, like her and Zhou Yiwei's marriage life. I am so excited for them finally falling in love and being together and controlling that army. And the army kind of reminds me of Lanya family and stuff, because her family is Lanya Wang, and I'm just like, oh, Lanya Bang, huh? and stuff. And it just reminds me of the Nirvana and Fire army and stuff. And I'm just, that's just me though. But anyways, it just had me freaking out. But yeah, I can't wait to see her growth as a character, her pulling off the curtains of naivety and becoming someone who sees the world for what it is. And it's gonna be sad when she experiences all that. I mean, right now you've seen up to episode 8, you know how sad certain things are, but the things, the necessary things she needs to go through to become stronger. So I ain't even mad. But yeah, that's my feeling about the female lead. My suspicions so far are that the person who's basically behind the scenes and planning and orchestrating all these things that have been happening so far is the second prince. I do not believe for 1 second that the second prince is really wayward. I feel like he's just putting on an act and trying to get the crowd and be the winner at the end of the game. So my suspicion is that the second prince is definitely evil. I also suspect that Shanyang's maid lost the third prince, but that's something I'm not really 100% sure of. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me on those two suspicions of mine. So far, I am really enjoying this drama. What I am not the biggest fan of in this drama, it's not like I hate it, it's just something I noticed and I'm just gonna throw it out there. If you're coming into this drama expecting the best war scenes you've ever seen, don't do that. These war scenes are good, don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as, let's say, a 300. For those of you who have watched the American movie 300, which is like one of my best movies ever, or Troy, if you've watched Troy. And the fight scenes are not ever night good, but they do, and they're not as good as like an Iran and Fire either, but the fight scenes and the war scenes are okay. My main issue with the war scenes is how they basically cover up a lot with fog and smoke. So there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of fogginess, which I feel like they use to basically cover up maybe the CGIs that are in there or the imperfections in the war scene. So they had to use a lot of smoke and foggy effects to cover that up. But apart from that, I really do like those scenes. They're not the best, like I said, I've seen better. But just so you know, that if that's something you're looking forward to, just letting you know ahead of time. Expect a lot of fogginess and smokiness in those scenes, and the fight scenes are not the best you've seen, but they're okay, is what I'm trying to say, and they're realistic. Like, we don't see people, like, we don't really see a lot of martial arts in terms of like flying into the sky and stuff, which I have no problem with, don't get me wrong. It's just we see more realistic scenes. Like there's this scene where our female lead falls from the top of a building and our male lead runs towards her to catch her, and I'm just like, oh dang, he didn't fly and stuff. So there's not a lot of that, is what I'm trying to say. It's more realistic. So if that's something you're looking forward to, definitely check this drama out. I am definitely enjoying it. This is gonna be slow, so I feel like this is one of those dramas that I'm gonna have to take a break from and watch other things, so I can just like breeze through 10 episodes in one day or something like that. So yeah, definitely check it out. I definitely recommend it right now. Of course, it might go left as we watch more episodes and it might become horrible, but right now it's definitely worth the watch. So definitely put it on your watch list and check it out. And if you've already checked it out, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like, don't forget to share, subscribe, and keep being the awesome beautiful people you are. From me to you all, love for you all. Stay awesome.